As a business traveler, what is the first thing that you look for in an airline? Anyone, please. No one? Are you guys even listening? Sorry?
Convenience. Convenience.
Convenience. Okay.
First person to enter the aircraft.
When you're booking your flight, would you book a SpiceJet flight?
Probably not.
Not.
Why not?
It doesn't
The
have
assumption that low cost.
low cost. Yeah.
Okay, even if it's low cost, even if the price is lower than an Indigo, would you choose a SpiceJet?
I may, even if it's lower. Yeah. If it's lower.
Okay. Anyone who says I will not choose a SpiceJet flight?
So in this scenario, we are not ourselves, no?
Okay, no, but generally as a traveler, I would never choose a SpiceJet because I know for a fact that they can just cancel anytime.
Cancellation. Yes, I'm aware
Yeah,
of that.
I might have a training with IIT Jodhpur, and if I booked a SpiceJet and it's cancelled, the students are waiting in the auditorium and I've not reached.
Yes.
So what Jan Carlson did was he actually sat and discovered that the main thing, most people who traveled were business travelers, and their primary concern was reaching on time. So the first thing he did was he changed the slogan. He said, "We don't fly airplanes, we fly people." And he started monitoring the takeoff, while in transit, and the landing of each flight. Sure enough, gradually people started trusting the airline and they started showing profits. Though it took 2 years for them to actually start showing some marginal increase in profits. So the idea is that you have to figure out what is wrong and then train people to do what is right or what works best for the company. So, see, as a facilitator, what would you do? You would try and look at this as a case study. You would look at it like, okay, so he actually did a training need analysis. He discovered what is wrong, and then he made sure his people were doing this. Now, this is the difference between andragogy and pedagogy. Pedagogy is where the teacher stands and the students follow and do exactly what the teacher says, whereas andragogy means training adults, and the trainer is the center, and everybody else puts in their inputs. He is just helping you put your inputs into practice. Now, what are the key skills that are required to be a trainer? Honestly, it's good communication skills. You have to know how to hold people's attention. And communication is not always about just speaking, it's about body language, it's about smiling, it's about how pleasant you are to the audience. So it doesn't mean that you could use English like Shashi Tharoor and kind of mug up something and just speak and go. You have to make sure that when you're communicating, you are communicating with the right person in the right way. You will speak differently to a 4-year-old and differently to a 40-year-old. Because, and when you're training people of all age groups. I've trained young guys who've been straight out of college and just joined the corporate world. I've trained senior managers. I've trained doctors. I've trained lawyers. I've trained PhD scholars. So I've had to, understand what is the level, what is it that they will absorb, and what is it that they will not talk. And interestingly, I'll give you one training experience of mine. This is when I just joined Oxford. And we used to just do user awareness sessions then. And I had gone to CDRI, Central Drug Research Institute in Lucknow. And when I was training, I was very new. This is 10 years ago. I didn't know this industry. I had come from an IT industry. And there was one guy who said, "Is this all you're going to show me?" And I said, "Yes." And he said, "Well, in that case, I don't have the time to sit through this." And he got up and he left. And he was a doctor. He was, of course, a very senior person. And with him, the rest followed. And I actually had tears in my eyes. I didn't know how to handle the situation. So we all learn through experience. Public speaking, when we talk about public speaking, you have to be able to address a group of four or a group of 400 people and to be able to hold their attention. When I walk into an auditorium and I say, "Hi, everyone," and everyone says, "Hello, good afternoon." And I turn around and say, "Hello, I've flown all the way from Calcutta and I have more energy than 400 of you in this room. So please give me a good afternoon, a little more energetic." You have to be able to capture the attention of the attendees. Active listening skills. People think training is all about talking. It isn't all about talking. You have to listen. You have to try and understand. And when we talk about listening, it doesn't only mean just listening to what he said and then just giving a response. It also talks about reflective listening, where you try and understand the emotion of what the person is saying. I might have a trainee who sat in my class and said, now, for me, it was very easy to reach out to people because I started at a very late age. So I knew the hazards of not knowing how to use a computer. So when I had people who were like a little older, and I would go down to their level and tell them, look, this is how you need to do it. So you reflect when someone says, I'm not sure I can do this. So try and understand, why is this person saying I'm not sure, and be able to respond accordingly. So empathy is another skill you'll have to acquire. A basic bachelor's degree is a must. Coaching skills, being able to coach people. Coaching is a lot like hand holding. Then there is feedback. You remember in school, at least our teachers, nowadays teachers are scared. Nowadays teachers are willing to commit suicide, but the student won't. With so many things happening, I remember a teacher telling me, "You're a useless girl," because I used to get zero or laddu in maths. I was terrible in maths. And the teacher would say, "You will never be able to do anything in life." We would cry, feel bad, and again bounce back to life. Our parents told us that kuch nahi aata hai. That's how we grew up. But today, when you're training adults, you can't tell a person you're useless. You have to start with the sandwich method. Focus first on the good. You did a brilliant job when you said this. This was excellent. About what I really liked about your session was this. However, there are things that you can improve on. You don't say you were bad. You say, you use a positive word. So basically, give good feedback. Be able to give good feedback. Adaptability skills. You have to be able to adapt to an environment. There was one session I did with a group of doctors where I was speaking, and all of them, some doctors were snoring. And this is in a very reputed hospital, a very well known hospital in India, where doctors were either on their phone or they were talking, or some of them were snoring. So you just have to adapt. Initially, I would bring out that school teacher approach and scold people. I would say, "Listen, why aren't you paying attention?" That's when I was told that when you find that the audience is not paying attention, just finish your session in 10-15 minutes and move away, because it's a free session that you're giving them. Don't scold people, they're much senior to you. So you have to adapt to that environment. High emotional intelligence, EQ. Understand, some people will not be confident. Try and understand where they're coming from. Your EQ should be very high. And good facilitation skills. You should be able to bring about, get people to respond, interact, and give you the right information. And of course, a degree in instructional design is a big bonus. It adds value because you learn a lot about theories, the Knowles model, Kirkpatrick's model. So you learn a lot of things. This, of course, will sound like jargon to you right now. There are different kinds of training roles you can do. I started being a communication skills trainer. You can become a soft skills trainer where people do, management sessions, say time management, communication skills, um, interpersonal skills, negotiation skills. So these are kind of workshops that a soft skills trainer does. Then you can be a product trainer. In OUP, I started as a product trainer, sales enablement trainer, where, in a company where they feel the salespeople need training, they need to be able to sell better. That's another option. A wellness trainer. Now, with diversity and inclusion and wellness in the workplace, uh, this is another very good option that's coming up. And diversity and inclusion. So the last two are the ones that have recently taken over the market big time. So, what is the basic flow of a training session? The first thing is identifying the training need. Suppose, like I started in a BPO, my job was to listen to people's calls. When I became a floor communication expert, I had to listen to people's calls and figure out where is it they were going wrong. Some people needed change in tone, some people's English was bad, so the customer wouldn't understand what they were saying. Some people's pronunciation was not clear. They were grammatically incorrect. So you figure out where is this person wrong. You do a training need identification. In Oxford, there I've been the first trainer to join the India team. They never had a trainer. But why did they identify this need for a trainer? Is when they found that people weren't using the product and people needed to be aware that, there are journals, this is what you can do, this is how you can make your research better. So a trainer had to step in. So that was a need identification. Once you have identified that a person needs this, you direct them to the course. You tell them this is what you need to do. You probably need training on customer service, or you probably need take training on selling skills, whatever, depending on the TNI. When you get people into the training, the first thing is you have to convince the person why he is there for the training. What's in it for him? How is it going to benefit him? Now, if somebody turns around and tells me that I'm going to show you how to repair an air conditioner, why would I want to learn how to repair an air conditioner? I'm not an AC mechanic. I don't plan to be one. I have to be convinced that tomorrow you may not get people like during COVID, people who never used the net, housewives who never shopped online, learned how to buy vegetables online. Why did they have to learn that? Because it became a necessity. You have to convince them that this is what you can do. My mom still wants to go to the bank. She's